What's up, guys? I'm back with another video, and today I'll be showing you these tier lists, the special artifact tier list from highest to lowest, and the general tier list of units. So let's get into this one. First, we got the special artifact tier list. Credit to this guy, Shadow, and it says Nero artifact won't be on here since the 3-star and certainly have no special effects. So yeah, Nero artifact won't be on here. So here it is. We got the amazing tier, which is Jack Scythe, the Yamato, Perfect, or no, just Death Paintings, Cursed Orb, General Saber, Niche, which is the Dimensional Scythe, Tenga, Zangza, however you say that, Denji Chainsaw, Demon Arms, and I forget what it's called. I don't know. I don't know what this last one's called. I forget. It's like the Spectral Prism, I think. So anyway, at the top of amazing, we got Jack Scythe, which, you know, if you have any Reaper unit, it's obviously just by far the best, no matter what, really. So if you have a Reaper unit, get Jack Scythe. I don't think this is the best placement for it. I honestly think it should be like below Death Paintings, just because you have to have a Reaper unit for it to be worth it. And I'll get into a little bit of that later when I'm telling you guys about these two artifacts. So obviously, if you have any Reaper units, put Jack Scythe on it. It'll be an amazing thing, especially low cooldown ones. That thing will be crazy good. Next is the Perfect Yamato. Honestly, I think this is the best artifact in the game. It buffs your crit chance by a multiplication factor of 1.65. So whatever your crit damage is, times that by 1.65, and that's what the Yamato does. There's one downside is it makes units hit slower, but that is okay because of how good the crit damage is. The reason I think this is the best artifact in the game is that crit chance stuff is taking over the meta. I mean, you got this new ultimate Ryoshu that takes crit damage and like crit chance and all that. It's just taking over the meta right now. The meta right now is basically, I'd say, gambler units, and that's the kind of thing about this. It doesn't necessarily buff gambler units, but what it does is it makes any unit that's not gambler can like keep up with the gambler unit. So it basically makes any unit good, literally anything other than gambler units. It's very good on. So even though gambler is in the meta, you still got the Yamato, which makes units that's not gambler in the meta, and units that are already just as good as gambler units the top of the meta, like Flocka. So yeah, it's by far the best artifact in the game in my opinion. I don't even think Death Paintings or Jack Scythe is really even close. So yeah, I really think it's the best one in the game. Next, we got the Death Paintings. This one, the Vigil, or this one is also, the Yamato is also used on Vigil. It like makes it charge faster by, like, instead of 1 charge per attack, it's 1.5 or something. So yeah, it's pretty good on Vigil. I recommend getting it. Obviously, I recommend getting it. It's the best one, even if not for Vigil, because Vigil isn't even the best. Next one is Death Paintings. Death Paintings you literally cannot go wrong with. Basically, Death Paintings is, the unit is 35% weaker until its max level, where it gets 20% stronger. 20% doesn't sound like too much, but it really is a lot. You know, that's the difference between like 100 billion damage and 120 billion damage is that. And 20 billion damage is a lot. Yeah, it's a great thing. So I highly recommend getting it. It really has no downsides other than the 35%, but it's easy to max stuff anyway nowadays. Also, when equipped on Chose is a pretty good unit. It's kind of fallen off though, and I'll get to that when I get into the general tier list. I'll get into the Chose fall off. I love Chose, but it's kind of, I'll talk to you about it later in the video in the general tier list. So next thing we have is the Cursed Orb. This one is Geo's artifact. When it's equipped on him, it makes his ability passive thing, where like instead of every 12 seconds it can trigger every 8. It's not the best ability. So, but what it does do is it does buff the crit chance a unit has by 5%, and I think it also makes their range a little bit less, which isn't that big of an issue. This one is definitely very good. As I said earlier with the Yamato, Gambler is taking over the meta. The more crit chance you can get, the better a Gambler unit will be. So, you know, you really cannot go wrong with extra crit chance. And especially with the Gambler unit, any crit chance is very good for a Gambler unit, any Gambler unit. So I highly recommend getting it one. Its range really isn't even like too bad. It's only minus 12.5 when it's maxed, which the 5% crit chance far outweighs. So yeah, it's very good. I'd recommend getting it. So yeah, go get that one. It's a Shadow Dio artifact. If you have anything, get in put it on it. And yeah, pretty good placement. Next one is the General Saber. This one, it just makes the cooldown less on things. So like if you have an Amiri, it's good on. It'll make the cooldown a little less, like 100 seconds instead of like 140 or something. So yeah, I recommend getting that one. It's really good. Now we're getting into niche stuff. The Dimensional Scythe is the King Crimson Requiem's thing. It's not too bad. I kind of forget what it gives, but I'm gonna go check in game actually. Actually, never mind. I'll just stay here. It doesn't really do the best. I know for a fact it's not that best. If I can like scroll up, see. Let's find it in here. No, not Crystal. What am I talking about? Dimensional Scythe. Yeah, that's basically all it does. It just. Oh wait, I was wrong about the General Saber. Okay, I'm gonna take everything I just back. General Saber gives range and minus cost, so you can't go wrong with it. Dimensional Scythe is the one that has the ability remove. So I'm sorry, that was a little slip up for me. Next one is the Tenga Zenza. If we look up here, it gives 1.5x damage to bosses, and elite enemy too, and minus 10% damage to normal enemies. You can't really go wrong with it. If you're boss killing, if you put on your boss killer or put on your elite enemy killer, it's good. If you're gonna go into any normal game with no bosses, you don't put it on. It's pretty simple. Can't go wrong with it. Great thing to use. Denji's Chainsaw plus 35% bleed on hit, 35% 2x bleed if already has bleed status. You put this on any bleed unit, it'll give a lot of bleed. Pretty self-explanatory. So I don't really recommend getting it. I don't think it's the greatest, but you could. Demon Arms. 20% to bypass shield crit. That passive is really bad. It's not worth it at all. But it's still pretty decent because if you have a Dory Awakened, you put the Demon Arms on it and it'll be crazy. And that's another point I have with Yamato. If your Dory is Savior and you compare Demon Arms versus Yamato, Demon Arms is Dory's own artifact that makes him really busted. Yamato still wins that. That's just how crazy it is, even though if the Dory is Savior. So that's just how good this artifact is. So if you're Dory, if you have an Awakened Dory, get this or Yamato, one of these two. Both of them are really good. Last one is Spectral Prism. 10% to grant all allies cash, but limit to one placement. You put this on a Savior farm. Is it even worth it? Probably not. You want to put a high damage on it anyway. It doesn't overweigh that. So, yeah, that artifact's basically useless. Now we're getting into the good stuff. The general tier list of units. Credits to Dawn and Shadow. So, here we go. I'm going to go out for this one. You can see we only have S tier units. I guess everything below just wasn't good enough to even be on a tier list. So, that kind of makes sense. We'll start at the lowest. Meta support, you can't really argue with any of these. Also, Water Magician, if you don't know what it does, it basically gives crit chance. So, it's really good in this meta. That's why it's a meta support. Can't really argue this. Hellfire Lioness gives burn, and it's paired, so it pairs with Flocka. And once I get the Flocka, I'll tell you about that. Water Magician gives more crit chance. The Fate Rejector, I think, gives more crit chance too. And it heals your base. And it slows by 35%. So, it's a great thing. Thor slows by 50%. Tsunami increases incoming damage, which is great. Slows, which is great. So, yeah, great thing to have. Dracos are pretty self-explanatory. They're basically needed in everything. So, yeah, let's start with S. We have Troy Mustard Evolved, the bottom of S. No, he's a good unit, has good damage. He gives burn, and burn is really good now. He just doesn't have the highest DPS. He can't really work alone, so that's why he's down here in S. Anya kind of fell off a little bit. Anya's still a great unit, but I mean, it's not that good. Now that we got all these other units that can kill stuff easily, Anya isn't the best. We got Crimson Megaman. It gives burn, so it's still gonna be up here, but it kind of fell off. It used to be pretty good. It fell off. Doesn't do too much damage anymore. So yeah, Aroma's a shield breaker. Has a good damage. Hits a lot. Has a good AOE. It's just not crazy good, so that's why he's not up here. And also pure DPS really isn't the best. So the Monarch Commander, he wouldn't even be on this list, I'd say, if it wasn't for his recent buff. of getting electrified and bleed back. Snot is pretty good. He does a lot of damage. Has 2 good meta effects. So yeah, recommend getting him. As Life, Time Freezer. Can't go wrong with her at all. She slows. She has an ability that stops the entire map. She just doesn't have the greatest damage. So yeah, that's why she's down here. Ichimugetsu. He has a very, very long AoE. But its damage is really high too. But its cooldown kind of drags down. And it's very thin AoE. So, it doesn't hit too much. That's why he's pretty low, even though he has good damage. As Life Commander, I personally think it's a little too low. Like, I'll talk to you about this unit next, Hornless Demon. I really think as Life Commander is better than that. I really do, but, this guy's a tier list, she's a tier list maker, so you can't really, she kind of knows what she's doing, so maybe there is a way, but I will spend my take on that. As Life Commander has a lot of hits, great range, has a great, really good ability. That's what really carries it. So, yeah. Very good unit, gives bleed too. Now we're going to get into some controversial stuff. Hornless Demon. This is a godly. I made a showcase, its kit sometime. And I really don't think it's that good. I'm just going to be honest. It caps at 4x damage. I just don't think it's that good. It has good damage, bleed and all, knockback too, but I really don't think it's good. I mean, for a banner unit, don't get me wrong. For a banner unit, just even being on this tier list as a banner unit is crazy. It's really good for a banner unit. But, I really don't think it's, I think it's so overrated. Everyone acts as just, the greatest thing that ever happened to Ultimate Tower Defense. But I guess she's earned the S. I wouldn't even put her on this tier list. I really don't think she's that good. But, some people do. The thing about her is, to use her, you have to use Gold Draco, which, Gold Draco is good and all, but normally he's not that good. You, have to bring stuff that give her range. You need, Majestic or Sniper on her so she is even good. It just takes too much stuff on her to make her worth it for me. Once you use all that, yeah, she's good. But is it really worth it to use all that in this kind of meta? I don't think so. So, I'm going to have to disagree with this. I could keep it an S, but, I would lower it, to below Aroma, probably. I don't think it should be up here. I really don't think it's that good. We got the Primary Evolved. He does a lot of damage. He's really good. He's basically just Instinct Lord, but a little toned down, a little worse. Can't go wrong with him. He's a great damage unit. He does a lot of damage, too, so it's great. Vigil, he did just get that Yamato artifact, so that kind of boosts him up at the top S. He would be, down here, but that Yamato artifact is now really good, so, he kind of got a little buff from that, so that's nice. You can't go wrong with the Vigil. He has, no downsides or anything. He's, stuns. He does good damage. Hits a good area. He shield breaks. Great unit, just not the best at what he does. So that's why he earned the spot. Dendy Sword. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think I've ever used Dendy Sword. I don't know enough about it to, say how good I think it is or anything. So I'm just gonna trust the tier list maker with this placement. So, yeah, I don't have enough information. I've never used it, so I wouldn't know how good it is. But if it's S plus at the bottom, it's S plus at the bottom. I'm going to trust the tier list maker on this. Tomio. Tomio is a great starting unit. The one problem with Tomio is, basically, she's good at everything. But, if you name any use that she has, there's always, 2 stuff better than her. And everything. Starting, there's a lot of stuff better than her. Range, shield breaking. There's just every single stat she has, there's just stuff better than her at it. But she's good at everything. So, that's why it deserves the S plus spot. It's good at everything, just not the best, and it's kind of what S plus is for. Berserk Gus, he does a lot of damage. I think he's kind of over what he should be on this list, but I don't use him much either. I don't have his Evo in game. I kind of tested him in the test server. He's pretty good. S plus deserving probably. He gives bleed and all that, so yeah, I think he deserved this placement. Next up, we have Awakened Dory. Awakened Dory is very good. I recommend using it if you have it. You can't get it anymore. I was about to say recommend getting it, but you can't do that anymore. I recommend using him if you have him. He's a great starting unit. Get a Demon Arms or Yamato on him. He'll be a demon in Map of the Day. In Map of the Day, he's just unstoppable. He out damages even these high stuff in SS. He out damages a lot of these in Map of the Day. That's how crazy he is. He's a great starting unit. I highly recommend using him if you have him. If you have him, I wouldn't waste him at all. You should use him as much as you can. He's great. Agris. Agris has so much damage with really good AoE, but it's kind of a slow attack. I guess just for how much damage and DPS it has, I guess it has to go up here. You can't really argue with something with that much damage. So yeah, I have nothing like bringing down. I have nothing really bringing up either. So it's a great spot for him. Monarch Assassin, very very good. He does a lot of damage, gives poison even. If you like, you could keep him on level 4, have him give Assassinate too. He's great. He has many uses. Recommend getting him. Recommend using him. Especially if you're in like level 100 Celestial, he's crazy good. Next up, we have Life Soldier. It gives chilled. It does good damage, so it deserves a spot in S+. Also, you may think some of these units like Awakened Dory are like S+, and you're like, let's say you see like a good unit like Monarch Assassin. Let's say you think it's like really good and all, and you think like, how are there this many units better than it? Move it up. This is still S+. S+ is still great. All these units are like really good. Don't get me wrong. So like, I know the difference between Eslife and like Amir looks big. It's really not. All these units are just the best of the best. Every unit up here is insanely good. So there's no, placements. Like if they're close to each other, you could go either way. Basically is what I'm saying. So yeah, keep that in mind. Eslife gives chilled. It attacks pretty fast, does good damage. Great unit. I think it's kind of underplaced. I think I would put it a little bit higher, like above Roshu and Instinct Lord. But I mean, that's if you want to. You could also put it down here too. It doesn't. There's just multiple ways to use it too. Next one, we got Roshu. This one's another controversial one. I really do not like Roshu. I think it is not a good unit. I don't think anyone should be using Roshu. That's how bad I think it is. At least, obviously it's good, but like if you could use like any unit on this list, Roshu, I would not use it all. I mean, it's a great unit and all, best ultimate banner ultimate, but like I'm not using this. You're never gonna really catch me using this unit in a game. I don't think it's that close to other units. It's basically just a luck-based unit, and I don't go off luck. I hate luck-based units. I like my stats given. I like the majestic stuff. I don't like that risky gambler stuff that much, even though it is taking over the meta. So for that reason, I think it's a little bit lower. But realistically, it's probably fair here. It's a tier list maker. She's not biased at all. So it's probably fair here. But I just do not like it. So yeah, I'd probably believe her on this. So I like guarantee stats. I don't like that crit chance and all that. And that luck-based stuff, I really don't like that. But, I guess mathematically, statistically, it probably deserves a spot up here. So, I guess get it, use it. So, yeah. Next one is Ichi Inksis Lord. He kind of fell off. That's why he's moved down a little bit. He used to be like SS up here. But, out of power creep, he kind of got moved down. 15 hits, great damage. Recommend getting it. Very good unit. So, yeah, you can't really argue with something with the damage as I said, with Igris. Same with Lord Boros. Lord Boros and Ichi Inksis Lord are just in the exact same boat. So is even Salter. All three of these units are in the exact same boat. They have really high damage. They kind of fell off, though, so they still have a spot up here in S+. Amir is probably the best starter unit in the game. It kind of falls off late game, though, even though its ability is still really good late game. That ability takes so long. That's why you want to put that artifact on it that, decreases the cost or the time. So, yeah, Amir, you can't go wrong with it. It's a starting unit. It does its job flawlessly. There's nothing you could really ask from it. It does its job perfectly. So, at the top of S+, it's pretty fair. SS, first we got Sunderu Summoner. If you look at past tier lists, like if I go just any random tier list up here, or like an actual one, not dungeon, season 6, like you can see Summoner's worth far the best. Now I fought for Summoner every single time. I think Summoner is amazing. I think it's so good, so underrated, and I'm so happy to see it finally got a place it deserved. It went from being like down at the bottom of the tier list, now it's up here. I think it finally gets what it deserves. Summoner is so good. I think Summoner Sunjin is just amazing. He doesn't fall off with power creep. He gets stronger as power creep goes on. You want to get him so much. He's so good. I'm so happy I get to see him in a tier list up at the top. I'm so happy for him. So yeah, that's great. It's pretty obvious he just spawns enemies whenever you kill something. You can't go wrong with that. They have high health. So yeah. Next one is Ichi Moonless Sky. He's a full AoE unit, has a really good ability. You need the ability though to make it good because he'll kill bosses with that. He'll whip basically the whole map. Good unit, recommend getting it. You can't really go wrong with him at all. Nokia. I think Nokia kind of got scammed by getting down here. It used to be like at the very top, but it is for a good reason. Claudia's Bride. I'll get to that later. I'll just tell you right now. Claudia's Bride basically just replaced Nokia. And that's why Nokia moved down. So Nokia gives Frostbite good stun, great damage, and all that. So yeah, really good unit. Recommend getting it. Probably to new players, that's the first evolution I recommend getting. Next, we got Dendy Gun. It's only up here if you get a Reaper. If you have like a Savior one, it's probably like down here in S. It's still really good. But if you're Dendy's Reaper, that thing is a unit. I mean, you put that thing in anything, it'll give you a lot of money on wave 1. It doesn't really fall off late game because Reaper keeps it up with the pace of the game, like the health of the enemies. So yeah, get Dendy Reaper. I mean, I recommend it if you could have any team of 6. I would probably put Dendy Reaper in there. He's so good. Recommend getting it. Now we got Chose. Now Chose, I love Chose. Like, I mean, it's my favorite unit in the game, but I can't be biased because he's my favorite unit in the game. I would move him down to S+, not SS. He was, let's see, in past updates, he was like consistently a top 7 unit in the game. He's kind of fallen off to like top 10 now. I think he's now top 18 or something. And I'm going to get to that why. I mean, I love Chose. I want to be biased, but I can't. I'm going to have to give my honest opinion on this. Chose, I really don't think is that good for one reason. Basically, his like in last metas, you had the death paintings, which is what made him really good. This meta, Gambler is kind of taking over. You know, everything changed. The whole meta shifted, like Yamato and Gambler stuff and all that. And one thing that hasn't changed is Chose. Chose from now on, I think they kind of switched it up. Chose is just going to be getting worse and worse. I don't see Chose ever getting better. He's going to be becoming worse and worse every update. His damage isn't that great anymore compared to other stuff. He does give bleed, but I mean, I don't think he's that good anymore. I loved to like call him good. He's my favorite unit in the game, but you know, I have to be honest here. I don't even think he's top 10 anymore. And he's been consistently like a top 5 unit in the last couple of tier lists. But he does every 4 attacks with the death paintings. He'll do a ton of damage with AoE, which is really good and all. He's a good shield breaker. The one thing holding him back is his very slim line AoE, but he makes up for that with his tech. I still don't think he's that good. I mean, I love Chosen on. I can't get over it, but I don't think he's top 10 anymore, even though I like to glaze him and all. So yeah, Cho's kind of falling off, and yeah, that's basically all I gotta say for him. He used to be my GOAT. Now he's falling down the ranks. Next, we got Normal Flocka. Without Pair. Pair's at the very top. Normal Flocka without a burn unit is here. Flocka's damage is so high. He does a ton of damage and a pretty good line OE. Definitely get Flocka if you can through trading. 100% get him if you can. He's a great unit. Everyone should have him. Or everyone who can get him should have him. I have 2 of him. I have 2 shinies of him. I think he's the perfect unit. So get Flocka. He does a ton of damage. He has a really good ability. That's 220 damage to things in good range. So yeah, get him. Next we got Aizen. Now Aizen, I can't say I'm going to recommend getting him because of how expensive he is at 90,000 ruby cost or whatever. But you know, if you have him, he's great. I mean, even on Butterfly, he does a ton of damage. Good, great slow. Yeah, I recommend getting him basically. Or not recommend getting him, but I recommend using him if you have him already. And if you're close, I guess maybe you could get him. Next, we got Claudia's Saber. This is probably kind of new because most people are used to like Saber being over Bride. I personally always like Bride better, and I guess it finally got what it deserved with what I think. Saber's just, he does a ton of damage. It has that ability that gives stuff crit chance, which I guess is now taking over the meta. So maybe you could move this up a little bit. But I mean, pure damage can only get you so far, and we kind of learned that. It peaked up. It didn't get to SS. All these units in SS, other than Demon King, aren't just pure damage. They have other stuff to them. So yeah, I'll move on to the final tier, SSS. Kicking out, we got Demon King, the last pure damage guy on this whole list. He does a ton of damage. I think with you have him maxed out in Draco and stuff, that gets up to 300 million damage every 4.5 seconds. That is a ton of damage. So great unit. Get him or use him. I don't know why I say I don't know why I keep saying get him to these unobtainable units. I keep on meaning use them. Use Demon King if you have it. It's a great unit. Try to get up. Yeah. Claudia's Bride's always kind of been lower than Saber, but people haven't realized how good Claudia's Bride is compared to Saber until me and the tier list maker, we started doing map of the day, and I think that's what made her change her mind a little bit, because she saw how good Bride was firsthand. I mean, it stuns enemies for 5 seconds in a huge range, full AoE, and its damage can even keep up with Saber, and that 5-second stun just brings it over the edge. So I think she was kind of torn between the two, I think, and then this update is the one where she learned Bride was better. I'm not saying that to this or anything. She learned everything else here. I think everything has great placement on this, other than Hornless Demon and shows. So I won't really, she's a good tier list maker. She's probably the best one the UT community has to offer. So I don't really go against what she says. But yeah, Bride is great. Next we got Segunda. Quattro was consistently the top 1 unit every single time up until the summer event where Flock became a thing. Quattro basically does a ton of damage with Despair. 30 ticks of 0.45. No, of 45% of his damage for 30 ticks is crazy. For any DOT stats are really good. His damage is high to start out too. So yeah, definitely get Quattro if you can. Grind a lot of Lost Notches. It's a great map. It's pretty easy, even though there's 2 spawns. Get Quattro. Next, we got Shadow Geo. You can't go wrong with him. He's basically perfect. If you get him Reaper, he is perfect. I mean, he has no flaws at all. Everything about him is great if you get him Reaper. So get Reaper Shadow Geo. What he does is it basically just if you have him Reaper, he'll reap a lot because his cooldown is 0.25. He also summons this other guy, Shadow the World Wreckham. And that does his main damage if he's not Reaper. That thing does so much damage. That's what makes him so good. It hits 45 times or something, so it's great, and it has 1 million damage. So it's 45 million damage a hit, basically. So yeah, it's great. Shadow also alone, even without that, is still good. So yeah, get him, no real flaws. Next we got King Crimson Requiem. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even it's kind of like this Dendy sword case. I don't really know much about him. The one thing I do know about him is that he does crazy damage. He has an ability that sends all enemies back to the start. He has DOT damage that is crazy, and I think even though I don't know about him, I just know that he's good enough for SSS. The way how other people talk about him and his statistically, I just knew he was gonna be SSS unit, even if I don't test him. So I don't really have too much to say. I just know he does a ton of damage, has a great ability, has a great DOT, which is damage over time. Get him. He's the best unit you can currently obtain right now according to tier list, and I'll trust this tier list. Number 1, we got Flocka paired. I'll explain, but if you ever played with someone who has Flocka and there was burn unit in the game, you're going to know why it's up here. It spawn kills everything. The more enemies there are, the more damage he does. He's just perfect in every possible way. Ton of damage. If you pair him, let's say you have a Flocka, Hellfire Lioness, and the Claudia's Bride, nothing is getting past you. And I mean nothing. Nothing will get past you. Flocka is so good. He'll kill anything, basically, if you have him paired. The more enemies there are, the more damage he does. The less enemies there are, the easier they are to kill. It really doesn't matter for Flocka. He'll do the same thing every single time. Kill no matter how many enemies there are. So yeah, get Flocka through trading. Highly recommend. So yeah, I think this tier list is almost perfect. I'd move Hornless Demon a little bit down. I would move Chose a little bit down. But really, other than that, I mean, I don't really have too much to complain. So also, I was gonna say about Nokia and Claudius. The Claudius Bride stuns for 5 seconds. Nokia does it for 2 seconds. But Nokia's is reapplicable. But the thing is, if after you have like a Bride for 5 seconds, you should have units that should be able to kill any enemy in 5 seconds. You don't need like more than 5 seconds really. So that's why Claudius Bride is better than Nokia. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. This was just going over these tier lists. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.